Have those days or maybe even weeks where you feel like you're just operating on fumes.
Oh, absolutely,
Like you're
yeah.
going through the motions, ticking boxes, but the real you is somewhere. Well, on pause.
hmm Life throws so much at us, work, relationships, just the endless list. It's almost easy to end up feeling a bit stuck.
Yeah, just reacting instead of truly living. If that sounds familiar to you listening, you're definitely not alone. And that's what we're going to explore today.
That feeling of being on emotional autopilot, it's incredibly common. Can feel isolating, sure, but it's really a shared human thing.
Mhm.
And understanding it, well, that's the first step.
Exactly. And to help us unpack this feeling, this sense of being stuck, and maybe figure out what might help, we're taking a good look at Lori Gottlieb's book, Maybe You Should Talk to Someone.
Great book.
Yeah. Think of this as us grabbing coffee, pulling out the really insightful bits about therapy, vulnerability, and, the messy reality of how we actually change.
Whether you've thought about therapy, or you're already familiar with it, or maybe you're just fascinated by how our minds work,
Mm-hmm.
there's some real food for thought here.
Definitely. And what makes her perspective so valuable, I think, is that she's seen both sides,
Right, she's a therapist, so she has that professional insight, but she's also been a patient.
which gives this really grounded, empathetic view. It's like getting insights from someone who truly gets it,
Right.
from both angles.
Exactly. It feels much more real, less clinical somehow.
Absolutely. It's like she's saying, hey, I've been on that couch too. So, okay, let's dive into our first key takeaway. The therapy room. It's this surprisingly unique space for some serious, unfiltered honesty, and yeah, maybe even a good cry.
That's a great starting point.
Mhm.
Gottlieb really highlights that therapy offers this rare chance to step out of our usual roles,
Even if your usual role is being the helper.
especially then, maybe. It's a dedicated space where the focus is totally on your experience, your emotions, no expectation to fix anyone else.
And she brings this home with a really powerful moment from her own experience, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Here she is, a therapist, spends her days guiding others, and she finds herself just completely falling apart in tears. First session as a patient.
All that professional armor just gone.
Yeah. She realized she desperately needed a place where she could just be raw, completely fall apart, as she put it. That really struck me.
It really underscores that need we all have, that fundamental human need for a safe space to just process without judgment.
Even experts need it.
And it shows the contrast, right, between the face we put on for the world and the vulnerable reality inside.
Which kind of leads into this interesting idea she talks about. Idiot compassion versus wise compassion. Let's try and unpack that a bit.
Okay.
Idiot compassion sounds like, well, maybe being too nice. Avoiding saying something tough, even if it's needed.
That's basically it. It prioritizes immediate comfort over, like, genuine long-term help. It's avoiding rocking the boat. Wise compassion, on the other hand, is about caring deeply, but still being willing to offer honest feedback, even if it's uncomfortable to hear.
You mean like sometimes the kindest thing isn't the easiest thing to say?
Exactly. Think about your own relationships. Times you hold back because you're afraid of the reaction. Wise compassion looks past the immediate discomfort for the long-term good. It's not about being harsh, just honest.
That makes so much sense, like the difference between just placating someone and actually helping them grow.
Mm-hmm.
And Gottlieb also points out that when people start therapy, they often show this kind of highlight reel, a curated snapshot.
Yeah, the version they want the therapist or the world to see.
But therapy, she suggests, is about bringing other snapshots into view, the ones that show the deeper themes, the messier feelings driving things.
And what's fascinating there is her point about memory. We might forget specifics, the details get fuzzy, but we remember with incredible accuracy how an experience made us feel. Those emotional snapshots, they tell the real story.
And it's those feelings therapy helps you unpack. I remember her describing a session where she basically just cried for almost the whole hour.
Right.
And afterwards felt this weird sense of calm, like being wrapped in a blanket. But then that very human thought pops in. Wait, did I just pay someone to watch me cry?
Huh. Yeah, it's funny, but also so relatable. It shows that initial awkwardness with just letting yourself feel that vulnerability.
Totally. But releasing that emotion in a safe place can be incredibly healing in itself.
It can be.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about something else that really hit me. The way change and loss are so, well, tangled together.
Yeah, this is a core idea in the book. Change and loss travel together.
We think of change as good.
Right.
Something we want.
Often, yeah. But Gottlieb, exactly.
Yeah.
And she shares her own stuff here too, which makes it powerful. Her fiance breaking up with her unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
Her first instinct, try to keep it together, hide the pain, just like her patients might.
Yeah, that vulnerability makes it so resonant. She talks about trying to process his reason. I want to marry you. I just don't want to live with a kid.
It highlights how reasons behind big life shifts can feel completely illogical sometimes, just baffling.
Like trying to make sense of nonsense.
Yeah.
And this leads her to that beautiful analogy, the welcome to Holland metaphor. Can you explain that one?
Sure. It's a way to understand accepting unexpected turns in life. So imagine you've planned this amazing trip to Italy. Guidebooks, basic Italian learned, dreaming of pasta.
Got it.
But the plane lands, and surprise, you're in Holland. It's not Italy. It's different. But Holland has tulips, windmills, its own beauty, if you let yourself see it.
Instead of just mourning Italy.
Exactly. It's about finding joy in the unplanned journey, not just longing for the trip you thought you were getting.
I love that. Such a gentle way to reframe life's curveballs. And it connects, doesn't it, to her thoughts on bucket lists?
Yeah, how sometimes they might less about savoring life and more about warding off death.
Ooh, that's provocative.
It is. Like if we keep adding things, maybe we create this illusion of endless time. But acknowledging mortality, as tough as it is, can actually push us to live more fully now.
Which loops right back to vulnerability. It takes vulnerability to accept loss, to accept Holland, to face our finiteness.
And she shares that great quote from Wendell. The more you welcome your vulnerability, the less afraid you'll feel.
Wow. That turns the usual thinking on its head, doesn't it? We see vulnerability as scary.
Right, but embracing it, that allows for deeper connections, more self-acceptance, and maybe paradoxically, less fear.
Okay, so for our final key takeaway, let's peek behind the curtain a bit. What actually happens in therapy? I know a lot of people are curious.
Totally understandable curiosity. Gottlieb tackles that myth that therapists have all the answers hidden away.
Right, like they're withholding the secret solution.
Yeah. But she explains they avoid just giving direct advice for good reasons. One, they want to empower you to find your own solutions, build your agency.
Like teaching you to fish, not just giving you a fish.
Exactly. And two, advice can be easily misinterpreted or
Yeah.
just not fit your unique life,
That makes sense. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. And she also stresses how crucial it is for the patient, for you, to be willing to tolerate some discomfort.
Therapy isn't always easy. Growth often happens right at the edge of our comfort zone.
She uses that image, right? The therapist holds up a mirror.
But it's the patient who needs to look, really look,
Yeah.
and then say, isn't that interesting? Okay, now what? That curiosity is key.
That's such a clear picture. And this idea of a corrective emotional experience, what's that about?
Okay, so basically it's when the reliable, consistent relationship with a therapist helps you start to change negative patterns or expectations learned way back from your family, your early experiences.
Like if you learned relationships aren't dependable.
A therapist who is consistently there, supportive, can help you internalize a new experience. That relationships can be safe and reliable. It's healing through the relationship itself.
Oh, okay. Healing old wounds with a new, healthier connection. Makes sense.
And she touches briefly on defense mechanisms too, like displacement.
Oh, yeah, where you shift feelings about one person onto someone else.
Exactly. Mad at your boss,
Yeah,
but you snap at your partner instead. It's super common. We all do it.
definitely.
These are protective shields, really. Becoming aware of them in therapy helps understand why we react the way we do.
So wrapping this up, it feels like we've really dug into some core ideas from maybe you should talk to someone. Therapy is that honest space.
The change and loss connection,
Power, the surprising strength in vulnerability.
and just getting a clearer glimpse into the therapy process itself.
Yeah. And ultimately, the book is such a good reminder that feeling stuck, feeling overwhelmed, it's just part of being human.
Absolutely. No shame in it.
Yeah.
And exploring our inner lives, even when it's uncomfortable, can lead to real understanding, real change.
Totally. So as you go about your day, maybe something to chew on. Think about a pattern in your life, one that leaves you feeling maybe a bit stuck or unhappy. Instead of jumping to a quick fix, what might those underlying feelings, those other snapshots, be trying to tell you? And maybe what's one small step, even a slightly uncomfortable one, you could take this week towards just being a little more honest with yourself about it.
That's a great question to carry. Really powerful.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. We really hope it's given you some useful things to think about.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Until next time, keep exploring.